Good evening, Tuesday night. You should be able to hear a noise in here, and it is silent, apart from a little background from that. The fans have stopped again in the cold room. We're at 13 degrees, which isn't too bad. But there should be a bit of a racket coming from in there, and there isn't one. So let's take a look, see what's going on. So much for my repair job. Anyway, so I've called technical support in Retford, and this is the technique in order to restart the fans. It's a bit scientific, I apologise in advance if you can't follow, but bear with me. Right, on with the evening. First of all, Pat, I know I've said thank you already. We have now established that you are a man Pat, not a lady Pat. And I've in fact now subscribed to your channel and started watching a few videos, and very good they are too. Much better than mine. Pat's Brewery on YouTube. You should take a look, guys. Make more videos, Pat. Thanks again for the beer. As mentioned, I've had one so far, which was the Kolsch. Pat made a lovely 4.6, I think it was, Kolsch, or Kolsch. Beautiful. Light, mellow, just everything a Kolsch should be. Little bit of haze to it, but didn't detract from the experience at all. I would definitely drink that again. So thanks again, mate. Much appreciated. Make more videos. Tonight I have bought some bits. We're going to get those fitted first, and then Elliott and I will be casking. Kegging. I'll do that bit again. First of all, one mains coupler. That is so that we can connect the remote Inkbird, which is sat by fermenter 3, big boy, to the glycol cooler, the pump in there. So we're going to get that on first. I bought a new regulator which will allow us to build, or rebuild actually, the CO2 manifold for carbing. I've bought some new 3/8 hose and connectors for said rig. Additionally, and I wasn't planning to do this now, but I might well do, having watched Harry's video on different fans, I've bought a box of 120mm PC fans. So don't know how waterproof they are. What I'm going to do is replace one of those big car fans with 4 of these arranged in a 2x2, and see if it works. Fingers crossed it will. You can get waterproof versions of these. That might be an upgrade, but to be honest, these 5 were about 18 quid delivered. So we'll just give it a whirl, and at least then I've got the backup if the big fan does go again. These, I'll show you what these are for later, when we are fiddling with the couplers. Obviously we don't want beer come squirting out, so I've got some little caps that I'm hoping will fit. Also brought from home stickers. More stickers. These stickers are from a lovely man called Adrian Hill, and actually he didn't make them. He's taken all the credit. His daughter produced them. I've asked him to let me know the name of the business, because actually they're really decent quality. If I find out, I'll put it in the comments. But we've got some stickers to go on kegs, casks, boxes, things that we send out, and I'm probably going to stick them on a bit of equipment here as well. In fact, one's definitely got to go in the fridge. Let's go do that now. So, thank you very much, my very own sticker. Cheers, mate. And to your daughter as well. Please thank her for me. Really generous. And I also bought this motorised ball valve. I haven't got a use for it now actually. I bought this with an idea in mind of being able to switch the circulation from the cold glycol to the warm coolant, or warm coolant, you know what I mean, if I need to warm the tank up. But I'm just going to play with it, make sure I can get it to open and close using the control box that I built. Probably not going to do that today. Right, before we start building manifolds and fixing cables, we will get the keg washer heated up ready in the usual location. I'll do that now. So washer setup, you've seen this before, but this is in keg mode. We've just got to put a couple of little wooden slats across to stop the keg falling into the tub. We'll get some water in and caustic in a little minute and the rubber bung. Start it heating up while we do some of the other jobs. And then we've got basically 10 kegs to clean. 8 of them are brand new, probably don't need it, but I'm going to do them anyway. Then rinse, then persid, then fill. As you can see, Elliott's currently taking the spears out of the kegs. We'll give them a separate clean, obviously. And once they're out, we're stacking the kegs just behind where the camera is here. Stacking the kegs ready for cleaning. I reckon we're going to need 10. There'll be some bits left in the bottom, but the yeast trap that we put in, that little upstand, it's going to be a little bit more waste, but this is got to go into the keg bright, really. I don't have the luxury of, well, I do have the luxury. I could have a cloudy keg too, but I just want it consistent, particularly as the first batch. I've no idea how the clarity is going to be yet. So I have both sets of finings in. So we'll take a look in a minute. We're currently at 5.6 degrees in the tank. It's been there for about 4 days. Finings added at a couple of stages, so we'll see what it looks like when it starts coming out. We'll give you a look at it. Have you degassed it? Yeah. Honestly, it'll take your face off, that will. A little bit. Do the other one now while you've got it in your hand. Just bits, you'll be alright with that. So the next little job, while we're waiting for things to warm up, this connector here, this coupler, is currently connected to the pump, the big agitator pump, and the inkbird over there in the corner. When that calls for more cold, it starts the pump. We've essentially done the same thing over here with the large fermenter. So we've got this inkbird, it's going to call for cold. That socket's going to become live. So the white plug you can see hanging down there goes up and across, and we need to connect that to one of the other pumps. As I said before, I'm going to use one of those little pond pumps. I've tested it, it works. It did start to drop the temperature, so worst case we can borrow the cold room pump, because at the moment we don't really need it in there, even if there's no pump running at all and the car radiator's off. We're still going to be maintaining a reasonable cellar temperature given the weather outside and the temperature in here. So these are the two that we've got to connect together. So this is the connector I bought off Amazon. I searched for DuraPlug. This isn't a DuraPlug, it's a replica. Plastic's a little bit harder than the rubber DuraPlug product. Only 2 pins for the live and neutral. There's no earth required on that particular pump, so we'll get that connected up now. What a plonker. I put it all together, I didn't slide that on first. And it's in one piece, so I can't even crack it off and click it over. Oh well, I'll undo it all and start again. Right, this time, do it right. Okay, so it's on. For future reference, don't buy the cheap fake ones. Buy the real ones. PMS it says on it. I don't think that's a PMS. It's garbage is what it is. Anyway, so fiddly, impossible to put on without 25 hands. So that's down there now, and I'm just going to give it a quick test. There you go. If I go into the app now, into Fermenter 3, 15.7, I've got it set at 30 degrees so the cold pump didn't come on. If I just drop that down now and say I want it at whatever, -3, confirm, the pump should start. Ah, it's not plugged in though, is it? Right. So it is now pumping. I'm pretty sure it's this one. Yeah, I can feel it already, the pipe's cold. So it's been running just for a couple of minutes now. I'm just going to take this out, make sure there's some liquid coming out of it. I don't know if you can see that or not. So we've definitely got a circuit there. It's running through nicely. That'll be fine. It's not the fastest, but don't need it to be. Nice and gentle. Okay, so I'll just adjust that temperature back up on the app to 30 or something to stop it now. And we're ready to fill that tank then. Not now, on Saturday. Thanks. Right, so we're just messing with these at the moment, just trying to work out the best way, whether we want to force carbonate them from the top down, surface pressure onto the liquid in the keg, or whether we want to put gas through the tube. And there's advantages and disadvantages. I don't have any check valves, so I'm a bit nervous that gassing it through the tube, if we do get any pushback, it's going to go straight into the regulator. So I think on this occasion we're going to go with top pressure, which is probably going to take a little bit longer, but we'll just play it by ear, see how we go. So it's connected now. If I just turn the gas on, I'll turn it on a bit, you should get a hiss, and that's coming out of this area here rather than down there. If I swap these around and took the little valve out, the one-way valve, then we'd have gas coming out the bottom of the tube like a soda stream. But I think we'll go with this way round, I think, for today. I do have some check valves coming, so or little restrictors that just stop it feeding back. Maybe we can swap it around at that point. Right, we'll try one the other way around as well. So this time, the gas input there I've now blocked, and I've taken the restrictor out so you can see all the way through. So if I connect that to my little John Guest connector and put the gas on there, it's going to go straight through down the tube in the keg and into the beer. So now we've got gas through the spear, so that will go directly into the beer. Okay guys, we are properly learning as we go here. Let me show you what we're doing. This is the last one. I've deliberately left this bit of video to the end because we've tried a few different ways. Again, some homebrew technique going on here, but if we had the money, we'd buy a bright tank, we wouldn't have this problem. But anyway, so what we've got is connected to the gas bottle, we've got this hose with a little isolator into the product out port of a Sankey coupler with the one-way valve removed. So we can push gas in through the tube, the dip tube or the spear as they're called. We can push gas straight into the bottom of the beer. We've also got on what would normally be the gas in post here, that's also straight through once the coupler is connected and the handle is down. We've put another isolator valve on the end there so that we can bleed off the headspace, which I'll show you how we do in a second. So first of all, we've got to purge the keg. So I want to get a load of CO2 in it just to displace any oxygen. I'm doing that with the actual spear that we're going to use in a second. They've been cleaned, sanitized. We're going to connect the spear to the coupler. And if I turn the gas on here, as I push the handle down, there's gas coming out of the end there. Okay, so we're just going to get that sanitizer, we're going to get that into the keg, and we're going to let the gas run in for a few seconds. We've been going about 20 seconds. I don't know if that's too long, too short, but certainly it seems to be long enough that you can see the gas escaping from the top of the valve. Obviously we're being careful with ventilation, etc. You don't want to choke on the stuff and suffocate. So we'll let that gas for a second. It's definitely flowing because we can hear it. And once that's done, we can put the fill wand into the top of the keg and fill it with lovely, lovely American Pale 5.8. Right, I think that's enough. More than enough, probably. We can kill the gas. We'll take the coupler off. And we'll fill. This is keg 10 of 10. Theoretically, there should be about 40 litres left at the end, but we've definitely got a bucket of rather mucky looking slops because I really did not want that in the first kegs of this stuff that I'm supplying to the pub, so we're going to deal with that in a second. It is in an orange B&Q bucket, a bit like the one that you can see. The only problem with this, and there's probably a technique as well, is I can't quite tell what the level is at the moment. I'm leaving a little bit of headspace just so that we can get some CO2 on top of the beer under pressure. I don't want it full right to the very, very brim, or we may struggle to carbonate, especially if we're using top pressure. And I'm just chewing that over in my head at the moment, whether we use top pressure or through the dip tube. I don't want to risk this new regulator as a problem. I think maybe we'll go for top pressure tonight, and then once the non-return comes in a day or two, I may change it. And the process that I'll be following anyway is more or less the same as bit more. Is more or less the same as what you would do in a corny keg, if I'm honest. We've got cold beer. We're going to work out how many volumes of CO2. I think I'm going to do this one at 2.4 volumes, and then based on the ambient temperature, will tell me what PSI I need to set the regulator at. And we'll take a look at Jolly Good Beer's guide for that, because he's got a good chart on his website. Elliott's telling me we've got a load of beer left in this fermenter, so we've got enough beer in there now. I am going to get the dip tube in. Obviously it won't go in because of those weird little winglets that we were fighting with a couple of weeks ago. but I have my correct tool now from DSI, sent to me by a lovely gentleman in South Wales. Thank you very much. I've not got your name here now, I've forgotten again, I'm sorry. But yeah, really nice. It took a bit of effort to get it here actually. The parcel company lost it and ran over it in the truck and all kinds of things. Anyway, it works. So we put that on there, we can lock it down and tighten her up. Tighten her up and then remove, and then we'll use the correct T-handle tool to just give it a pinch. Okay, that's nice and tight. And now we're just gonna, I mean the headspace is probably CO2, but just in case, we're just gonna purge the headspace now. So push the coupler down, I'm gonna turn on the gas, you'll hear the gurgle. You don't want too much gurgle because we'll make a lot of foam in there. And once the gurgle's stopped, I'm just going to bleed that off. I think that's enough. Gas off, disconnect, and we'll get that cleaned up, labelled, and ready for carbonation. And there we have it, 10 kegs. Started off a little bit murky, but by the end it's looking pretty decent actually. And it smells amazing. Cascade, a little bit of citra, nectar, beautiful. That is coming out at somewhere in the region of 5.8. So washed down, and the evening got away with us a bit. It's 11 o'clock now. Been here far too long. Temperature in here is 13 degrees, which isn't ideal for carbonating, but with the gas set where it is, I think we should be okay. We'll keep an eye on it. If I need to move them into the cold room for a fixed temperature, because it's obviously going to float here. A little bit colder at night, a little bit warmer in the day. But we've got actually 9, because I'm one couple of missing, it's home. I've got 9 on the carbonation rig. And fingers crossed, it should work. It doesn't seem to be leaking anyway, but we'll know about it tomorrow when I come in and this gas bottle's empty. Hope not anyway.